Every now and again, Esther will say, but Abraham, I would like to be one of the rare exceptions to this. I would like to be able to vibrate outside the vortex and still get what I want. And we say, that's like saying, I want to take this corner at 100 miles an hour, even though everybody that's tried it over 80 went in the gully. In other words, there are laws that you understand, laws of gravity and laws of inertia, and you've learned to work within them. You know how far you can push them. Oh, you get better suspension, and you put better banking on your corners. In other words, we watch you. You smooth out the bumps in your road so that you can push the limits of inertia law and gravity law. And we see you do that with this law of attraction law. We see you ornerier than you really need to be. We see you pushing the limits of it. But we also notice that when you have powerful, powerful, powerful desire, which occupies part of your thinking, even though there's some doubt that you're lacing it with, you can still take those corners pretty good if your desire is strong enough. And that's really what we want to talk about in the hours that we are together today. I want to show you, with far less effort than you think, how you can tune yourself into alignment with all that you've been asking for, because we want your life to manifest in the way you want it to. However, if you could let go of your quest for manifestation just for a little while and satisfy yourself with the immediate improvement that emotion will bring you, the immediate improvement of just focusing in a way that you feel better, then we will have taught you to focus your way into your vibrational reality. And then you're home free, because you don't have to focus your way into your vibrational reality very long before your reality catches up with it. And when it does, Jerry and Esther must have used the word miraculous 200 times the day the tree came down. It felt miraculous in the sense that they so wanted it, and there it is. And every time they would say miraculous, one or the other of them would just grin at the other one, because they know these things that people call miracles are just logical response of law of attraction to your defined, deliberate intention. Expectation really is the most powerful word that we could present in a forum like this, because expectation includes what you want and your belief about it. So when you want something but you doubt it, your expectation is keeping you from getting in the vortex, keeping you from being a compatible component, keeping you from being in there where things are lining up so that you're not getting any whiff of it, you're not getting any clues on it, you're not in the right place at the right time, you're not making the right decisions. But when you are desirous of something and optimistic, when you're desirous of something and expecting it, when you're desirous of something and believing it, now your expectation is in a place where you're in the vortex, you're in there where the movement is, you're in there where the things are happening, you're in there where the rendezvous are being, and you're in on the creation. Don't you find it hundreds of times more satisfying to intend something that isn't and then watch it become than to just sort of stumble on something that already became? You are creators. It is so much more satisfying. We promise you, Jerry and Esther will forever savor their view of the Pacific Ocean in ways that others will not, because they didn't have a view of the Pacific Ocean for 2 years. It wasn't there. It wasn't there and they wanted it, but it was all right. It wasn't there and they wanted it, but it was all right. It wasn't there, but they wanted it, but it was all right. They wanted it without resistance. Well, maybe a little. Maybe a little. They wanted it without resistance. They wanted it without resistance. And when it came to be, the satisfaction is so much, 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 much more. You always like your long drink of whatever it is when you're thirsty. And you always enjoy your meal when you're a little bit hungry. And you always enjoy moving into the vortex when you've not been in there for a little bit. And so the two predominant things that we want to express to you in a way that you will hear them today is you want to be in the vortex as much as you can. And you don't want to be mad at yourself when you're not. Because if you can make peace with not being in there, if you can make peace with what is, it's a lot easier to move in. What do you want to talk about? It is exhilarating for us to visit with you because we know that unlike the majority of the people on the planet, you are getting this. You are understanding. You're beginning to feel your part in all of this. You are understanding that you are source energy in physical bodies. And we're not giving this to you because we want to give you some lofty assignment that you need to get out and make the world a better place. You can't help it. And we don't want to make you know that you can't help it so that you get lazy, because you can help it, but you can't help it, but you can help it, but you can't help it, but you can help it. In other words, what you really are about is making your world, which means your now, which means your moment, which means your emotion right here and now, as good as you can make it. In other words, that's what deliberate creation is being present in the moment. And you know what being present in the moment means? Not just showing up, we're glad you did. But not just showing up, we're glad you did. Not just showing up, we're really glad you did. Not just showing up, but showing up with all that you are. Showing up as the clear-minded, source energy, loving, appreciative, flowing being that you are. Because you are so much more than these physical bodies. So much more than these physical bodies. You are consciousness that has the opportunity, the glorious opportunity of focusing in this leading edge time-space reality through this personality that you know as you, in conjunctions with other personalities, but even with all of the personalities on the planet flowing together. If they were all in this room, and many of them are, there are thousands of you out there, we're glad you're here too. As you are here, focused in this time-space reality here and now, it's the larger part of you that is doing the majority of the focusing. This is the thing that we want to really present in a way that you can really feel it. We want you to feel the perfection of the planet, the perfection of even the fact that this stuff holds together. It holds together pretty good. It holds together pretty good. We want to tell you why it is. It's focused into this consistent pattern of what you call physical manifested reality. It's consciousness that is concentrated long enough, generation after generation, eon after eon, non-physical energy after non-physical energy, that this feels real because it is. This is the leading edge. And we want to convince you, we get louder as we try that, we want to convince you that the reason that this time-space reality has the consistency that it does, unlike your dream state. Esther was all over the planet last night visiting with all kinds of different people. It was a really interesting night, but it wasn't like this. Your dream state isn't like this because your dream state is not manifested to the degree that this is. So when we say you create your own reality, we're talking about you. Yes, we are. We're talking about the things you're thinking right here and now. We're talking about the things that you speak of with your lovers and with your friends. We're talking about the things you do. We're talking about the focus of you. But we're also talking, we're really talking talking about the non-physical part of you who has been thinking long before this physical brain of you was thinking, that is holding all of this together. And what you are about here and now is finding new things to think about to merge with what has already come to be known from non-physical. Are you feeling that? In other words, non-physical knows the power of love and the power of appreciation and never ever deviates from it. You do it all the time. You deviate from it all the time, but it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means you're out there on the leading edge, on the raw and ragged edge, on the raw and bleeding edge. So here you are out here on this leading, bleeding edge, and in this experience of contrast, you are arriving at new things that you would like to consider, but you never consider anything that we all don't just rush in around and revel in the newness of what you have discovered. And as we revel in the newness of what you've discovered, the evolution of all of us moves forward, and as you know, you can come with us or not, we just went. So your work here is to discover new things to present as the leading edge, and then to hopefully, and we mean that in the nicest way, to hopefully keep up with what you have decided is the new, at least for you, leading edge conversation. And that's why we joyfully come to play with you. Because here you articulate your new leading edge inquiry. Here you articulate what's on your mind. And we want to impart to you in such a powerful way that you will always know it, that whatever is on your mind matters very, 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 very much, because you are out here sifting and sorting on this leading edge, and we are happy to play with you. Sometimes you sort it out, you point it out, you ask for it, and we go right there and wait for you to catch up with your own desire. Such an interesting thing. You pick it, we love it, we go there, we revel in it, we live it, we be it, we are it, and you don't come. Because you're so busy justifying why you're not going there. It's hard. It hurts. I don't like it. Somebody should call somebody. You've been listening to us for a while, and you get it, that your emotions are your indicator of how blended you are with that source energy or not. But still, it's easy to let your emotions run away with you. And we want to say that it's not your emotions that are running away with you. It's the specifics of the unwanted. You're supposed to be happy. It's supposed to feel fun. You are supposed to know your power and your wisdom, you see. So, as you think a thought, it will bring another, which you're now thinking, which will bring another, which you are now thinking. And during the process, you've put a whole lot into your vortex. By knowing what you don't want, you know what you do want. So here's this vortex that the source within you is enjoying and becoming. And here you are, a part of it, but just not right now. A part of it, but just not right now. A part of it, but just not right now. Source, with all of its wisdom, does not have the power to think your thought. You're thinking your thought. Now, you can feel the resonance between the thought you're thinking and how Source feels about it. And you have the free will to change that thought, while you're not going to do it suddenly because law of attraction won't allow it. But if you're paying attention to the way you feel, you can come around to knowing the perfection of your thought or the imperfection of it. You can come around to knowing the bend of your thought or the detriment. You can come around to knowing the rightness or the wrongness. And we use those words gently in terms of who you have become. And so it's just the free will factor. We don't for a moment want you to think that we're going to stand over here in your vortex full well knowing everything that you are, everything that you've become, and everything that you want, and that we have any ability to assert that on you in your resistance. And many of you say, but Abraham, if you know I want it, then shouldn't you just make me get it even when I'm disallowing it? And we say, oh, you've been asking for that from the beginning of time. In other words, you are the creator of your reality, and you have a support system that's remembering everything that you really want and not giving you support in what you don't want. Ooh, is that big? Not giving you support in what you don't want. And it's in that lack of support that you're clamoring for more support. And we say, hear us. No support comes in what you don't want. So when it feels that bad, it's because it's not something that you want. Doesn't get any bigger than that, friends. There is such love for you here, for all that you are and all that you continue to be. There is no ending to that which we will become together. And let's just enjoy every step along the way as we're moving, which means let's enjoy the resistance. Let's enjoy the aggravations. Let's put them in the perspective for what they are. Let's play the part that we are playing with clarity and focus and appreciation. And let's look out into the world and feel its beauty and discover it where we can and promote that every chance we get. And let's always remember that we are eternal beings and that there is no ending to that which we are. And that the vantage point where we now stand, right here, right now, wherever it is where we are meant to be doing our work. In other words, just stand there where you are and focus yourself into alignment and feel how good that can feel. And then watch what more it will lead to. There has never been a more leading edge crowd, and we are speaking of those of you here in the room and those of you around the world.